I'm gonna wait for the boys to pop in here a little bit because don't want to start too crazy now. Actually, you know what? We'll do this. Everybody gets to see my beautiful mug at the beginning. So I'm not gonna set a goal because there's no actual goal to be had. 2 o'clock p.m. right on the dot. Timestamps, reactions, participants. There is only one. Kind of get to see that. My streams are going to be a bit small first, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. I gotta set up the super stickers. I kind of want to do what Necrocata does because that's just a fun way of interacting. So start Q&A, start a poll. I don't want to do that right now. That's the reason why I'm going to keep this. Can I do this from this side though? No, I cannot. So I cannot do any of this crazy stuff. Tired. It actually tells me. Oh, it tells everybody in the Discord. That's kind of crazy. Okay. Well, nice to know. All right. So there's nobody here, but it's okay. So what we're going to do is this simple matter. All right. So we're going to be going over a few things that are going to be pertaining to the actual stream in itself. So a few things that we're going to be going over. We have a obese woman that savagely beats a child. We have a teen assault robbery in Canton 7 of Sparks for new concerns over juvenile crimes. And then we have, of course, a woman that decided to go to Africa, and then that failed miserably. And then you have this here. We have where the Ghost and Go guy with the Carmelo Anthony thing is all going to be crazy, and we're going to be going through your comments here as well. We have Sarah Fields that's talking more about what this Carmelo Anthony type of deal, kind of going correcting on the fact there. More of the Next Generation Action Network type deal. And then we have the disclaimer of Dominic Alexander's consistent involvement with criminals and corrupt politicians. So we'll be going with that as well. We have issues with a guy blaming Dunkin' Donuts for crime. That's funny. And then you have this here where obviously with Ashley Babbitt, we're going to go a brief story there. Then we have the great old. I wasn't actually going to report on this, but I'm going to report on it now just because of the fact that it goes over some things that kind of I think that's going to be happening in their society or there's a shift. And then we have, of course, the final one, pretty much Valve or Polygon being sold to Valnet. So I'm not quite sure what Valnet is exactly. Leading pushing investment company. Okay. What do you do though? Let's see here. I have my eyes. Leading publishing and media investment company. And you don't, I'm just gonna make you dark because it's founded as a global digital publishing and media investment company that owns and operates over 27 authoritative brands across diverse verticals, including entertainment, sports, technology, automotive, gaming, lifestyle, and travel. But even if they're bought, I don't see how this is gonna fix anything at all because if these are still, I mean, if you have 50 billion lifetime views, it depends on like how many people you have, but yeah. So it seems like these gay eyes are quite large, and they were bought in Quebec, which is in Canada. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what that now is. I'm not quite sure there they are. It's because it's an investment company or a media investment company. So yeah, that's what we have here. So without further ado, my friends, we're gonna go directly into this because this is the news we have. So what we have here is this: a Canton woman tells mom she hopes her 11 child gets unalived. Again, this is just insanity here. I don't know how we reach this level of depravity where we have these people just beating up children. It's quite wild, and I think everybody needs to start understanding here on what's going on. So without further ado, we're gonna be showing this. I mean, if these people can show this, I don't see why I can't, considering there's not much to be shown. So without further ado, here we go.
Now, three, a child brutally attacked by a woman at a public park while playing with some friends, and it was caught on camera. We have to warn you now, what you are about to see may be difficult to watch. 19's Katie Tersick spoke with the victim's mom about this attack.
Now what? 11-year-old Liliana Deshawn is terrified of stepping foot again on this new Canton playground that's feet away from her home. After Friday's horrific events, she doesn't want to return.
You gonna keep running out?
Police say 19-year-old Destiny Scott got into a fight with the young
God, that is a face only a mother can love. Only a mother can love that face, and I think even then that's difficult. So again, this is just what have you. I mean, at this point, you just large jokes at her because it just something a lot of jokes. But I said large to make a little bit of funny. Okay, we're fine with the funny. We're good with the funny. Okay. So again, sorry for the actual window there. I could go up and close it, but it gets so really dark and it's hard to see. And even with this, I mean, you can only see a part of my face, and it's also very blinding. So I have to find another way to put this. But nonetheless, we have this to where like what are we doing here with this with these people just assaulting a child in broad daylight in front of people?
girl and repeatedly slammed her head into the playground slide, making her bleed and concussing her.
And the girl ran up behind me and she grabbed me by my hair and flung me up against the ground.
Scott has been charged with assault and disorderly conduct. She is set to appear in court on Tuesday morning. Meanwhile, Deshawn's mother, Paige, is outraged by the incident and hopes sharing what happened to her daughter will alert other parents about letting their kids hang out at that playground.
I feel like it's ridiculous and the police aren't providing any protection for my child, and there should definitely be a lot more done about this than a misdemeanor assault and disorderly conduct.
While Scott was being detained, she told the child's mother she hoped the little girl would die, and the mother lunged for her daughter's attacker. Mom was charged with obstructing official business and disorderly conduct.
Destiny is 270 pounds. She is 9.
So what we have here, guys, is a woman that is simply wanting to save her daughter from getting beat. Well, you can maybe people don't understand this, but preventing her daughter from wanting to be beat to death. Because obviously, when you are beating somebody, it's kind of like it's kind of a problem. People can be unalived from this. They can be removed from society. So a mother doing a very motherly thing to do is to prevent the absolute whale from beating her child into submission for whatever that may see fit. And I think that's the correct thing to do. And the fact that she got obstructing justice or what have you is absurd. Really absurd. This is what we do when you're in these woke areas, these far left areas. It's like the people that do the crime will get less of a charge, but of course, the person that is doing the good thing and trying to help will get the one charge. This is not how you actually solve wanting people to do good things. Because when people do good things, they're the ones that get in trouble. No. See, the thing is that you're supposed to award people for doing good things. You're supposed to give people the best credence that they can for doing the good deeds. Like, if some man is rescuing you from a fire, or a woman rather is rescuing you from a fire, she should be awarded, not charged for being, disorderly conduct or, risking your life or whatever, something stupid, right? And then same thing is like somebody is in this case similar to where like if somebody is stopping a murder from happening and that person is stopped and then you're charged for doing that, which by the way we could go all the way to New York where apparently self-defense is just not allowed over there, like Daniel Penny. You can be charged for a crime. So why would anybody want to help anyone in this city for the fact that you're going to be charged for it? That's insanity to me. That makes no bloody sense. We all know the reality here on how bad that could possibly be, on how stupid that is. So let's just not play these games. It's so incredibly dumb. And the problem that I have with liberals, right, is that the liberals will always go out and blame the person that is helping. They will never blame the person that is committing the crime. This is a consistent trend with these far leftists, these liberals, these type of people, because all they do is just blame the hero instead of blaming the actual victim. Because again, when it comes down to for a good example, when it comes down to a trans person, right? If a trans person is going out and blaming specifically, when a trans person is going out and blaming or not blaming, but transiting their kid at a very young age, the far left will be like, no, that's A-okay. You should be able to trans your kid, give them hormones and all this stuff. It's perfectly A-okay. But of course, the person on the other side gets in trouble with the far left. Like they're the people that are in the wrong. That's what we have here. The left always goes after and defends the people committing the crimes. Same thing what we have with Carmelo Anthony here, where Carmelo Anthony commits a crime, and we have the far left quite literally protecting the criminal and going after the person that their son lied for. It's insanity to me. Like this is a world that we have to live in with these people. It's disgusting.
19 years old. My daughter is 110 pounds. She could have killed her.
A vicious attack on a child in a place where they are supposed to feel safe and play like a kid.
There is a police surveillance camera that sits here at the park, but police tell me at the time of the incident, that camera was facing the opposite direction of the playground. In Canton, Kate Tursek, 19 News.
Oh, it's almost. See, that makes it even more weird. Did the person actually put the camera facing the other way? It's like we don't even know why this whale, this obese figure, this waste of human space is even allowed to do this, right? Because again, what we have here, this whale of a human, this whale is it just attacked this child for no actual legitimate reason. We actually do not know the reason on why this even occurred. They're not even saying on why this happened. So if again we go to Canton woman here, because I'm pretty sure if we look this up, we'll find out actual thing here. It says there's not actually anything here, because again we have to find out the reason why. Like, oh, God. Okay. So what we have here, right, is this. There was a Canton woman arrested in an attack of an 11-year-old girl at a public park is now facing felony charges. Destiny Scott, 20, is charged with felonious assault, aggravated assault, resisting arrest, obstructing official business, and disorderly conduct in Canton Municipal Court. Says those charges are in addition to misdemeanor assault and disorderly conduct charges for which she was already arraigned and pleaded not guilty. Court records also show Scott was arrested on a warrant and taken into custody Tuesday. The incident took place Friday, April 18th at a park in the 1600 block of Clark Avenue, SW, according to Canton Police. The accusations against Scott include her allegedly telling the 11-year-old's mother she hopes her mother is unalived. Because that's a saying thing to say, right? Scott was detained on the scene as she was in an argument with the mother, Paige Deschong. Deschong said Scott got into a fight with her 11-year-old child at a park and repeatedly slammed her head off the metal portion of a slide. To the report, as Scott was arrested, Deschong told she opened her license and gets unalived, etc., etc. So that's the full case here, right? That's what we have here entirely for this entire situation. And again, it was just an argument. So we understand this, right? We get into fights, we get into arguments, we get into stuff like that, right? And there's like there's scuffle, there's stuff like that. You know, people get into fight, whatever. Stuff happens, but the point being is, and we're gonna go the Carmelo Anthony route, right? The point being is, you get into a fight, but at some point, the abuse stops. The fight ends. I always say, once somebody is knocked on the ground, it's over. It's over. The fight's done. This obese whale here, all right, this whale decides to continue the fight and slam the kid against her head against the gym or the playground. That is insane. That's excessive assault. That is not okay. And we've seen this time and time again here to where this happens. And again, we have more of this stuff here where it gets a bit more insane, right? So we have this here where teen assault and robbery at Canton 7-11 sparks renewed concerns over juvenile crime. So, it seems that juvenile crime doesn't seem to be doing very well here. So without further ado, guys, let's get into this one.
Assaulting a 7-Eleven employee during a robbery last night. According to Baltimore police, they have reviewed the footage and are still searching for those suspects. The incident is raising renewed concerns about juvenile crime in the area. Fox 45's Rebecca Pryor is live with the latest on this story. Rebecca.
Yeah, Maxine, I spoke with the store's manager this morning. He says this type of crime involving young people breaking in, shoplifting, threats of violence, he said it happens almost all the time, at least giving about once a week, he estimated. And now with summer just around the corner, he's afraid that the lack of consequences they're seeing could lead to a rise in crime.
It was like terrible.
After a long night in the ER spent waiting on x-rays.
I'm thankful like it's not broken, but I'm into the painkiller.
Amrit Karki, the store manager of this Canton 7-Eleven, located along Boston Street, returned to work this morning to play back the attack on the store's security cameras.
Things are getting very, very worse, especially with the kids.
He says Sunday night around 8, about a dozen teenagers enter the 7-Eleven and begin stealing items off the shelves. Karki tries to limit them to 2 people inside the store at a time.
All right, so what are we gonna start assuming that these type of people are, right? Let's assume the race. Let's play a race thing here, because obviously that's the fun thing, right? We're gonna do this, guess the race of the individuals, and then we'll go from there.
But says they wouldn't listen. That's when the thieves turned violent.
And I said, you have to pay for that. Then he started pushing me. I just end up with slamming my arms into the wall.
Karki says he's grateful a sprained arm was the only injury sustained, but argues assault and robberies at the hands of young people are becoming all too common.
They are not scared of anything. They think like it's fun.
The store used to be open 24 hours, but recently started closing its doors between midnight and 5 a.m. to deter the uptick in crimes like these, which Karki believes will only continue heating up once students are out of school for the summer.
We are really concerned about that. It's like every other week, or I would say that every week. Not only this place, I think many other places too.
So, this store is continuously happening, right? This store keeps on getting attacked, and this is due to soft-on-crime type of policies. And again, if we want to talk about some of the things that has been going on here, obviously, we're going to be talking about the insanity with that's what's going on in there. Obviously, what we could tell from the actual assumption of what the races are, they're probably most likely black, because I've seen some darker skinned folks there, some darker skinned people. And again, we need to start going off of I think I saw this from the Twins pod, at least a clip where it was going off of explaining on where black people in terms of are we just inherently more violent than other races, or is it just genetics or what have you? I don't know how true that is. I do know it seems that we seem to be a bit more violent in nature than usual, for whatever the case that may be. I do not know why that would be. But like I said, I think I want to take that into more of the instance of them not necessarily being more violent just because of genetic reasons. I think that they would be more violent just because the way they're raised. I don't think black households necessarily uh, raise their young either correctly, or majority of the time it's with a single mother, and that's not good too. So we have these problems, these cause these issues, right? So again, this is stuff that we kind of have to address and take over in order to understand what's been going on. And this store is being attacked frequently, and people start wondering why these stores are going to close down, why these stores are not going to, function as well. It's mostly just due to the fact that because the stores don't function very well, because they close down because there's constantly crime. Like, you can't be having people constantly getting attacked, because you have to worry about liabilities and other issues with like your staff or your employees getting attacked. And then you have to worry about like how much profit you're making versus how much profit you're losing. And if you're losing profit constantly over and over again, well, obviously the store has to make a profit, or at least someone go even, in order to stay afloat, right? Because I mean, if they can't get money, right, then how can they pay the electric bills? Like, everybody has to start understanding, you steal from a store loses profit. Store can't pay its bills. Store can't pay its bills. Store goes out of business. It's really not that difficult. I mean, it's quite simple, honestly. Again, it's like, there's small businesses and there's big businesses. Obviously, big businesses are more easily able to survive from being ransacked a few times. But, over a course of a time, it becomes to where, like, okay, we cannot survive like this. We cannot make an ends profit. If we keep this store going, we're just going to keep on losing money or what have you. So it's better to close it. And I'm going to put one final take here before I finish off the video, is that when you have a store open, right, and it's losing money. So in order to keep that store open, you have to keep on putting funds and stuff, whatever, to keep that store open in order to get some kind of money or what have you. And if you're losing money, well, it's not a benefit to you. And if you keep the store open and you're always losing money, well, you're always losing money instead of just having it closed down and not spending on it. Because, yeah, you're not gaining money by when it's closed down, but you're already losing money in the first place. So obviously, the best way to do is to shut it down, stop losing that money, because you weren't gaining anything in the first place. So you might as well close it down and stop losing that massive amount of money, and have whatever other stores open that are not riddled with crime and other issues to keep afloat, so that way you can survive, right? It's really not that difficult. And apparently the leftists just don't seem to think this way, which is astounding to me. But, be as it may.
Again, police say that they have not made any arrests in this case, but that an investigation remains active and ongoing. Meanwhile, BPD also says that about 2 weeks ago, 2 cash registers were stolen from this exact same 7-Eleven here in Canton, located along Boston Street. Again, no arrests in that case either. Reporting live in Baltimore City, Rebecca Pryor, Fox 45 News.
Hi, I'm Max.
Yeah, so again, this guy is constantly being attacked, being destroyed, or what have you. And the comments are obviously saying this: the juvenile system needs to be abolished. A crime is a crime. I don't care how old you are. I agree. The store owners in Baltimore need a two-way solution since there is no government solution available. Well, I mean, a lot of these places, like in Baltimore and a lot of the cities, they don't actually have the ability to have 2A, because they can just ban it anyways. In Baltimore, juvenile crime is legal. They have no respect for themselves or anyone else. It's sad and outrageous. Summer's coming. Yeah, I'm wondering what's going to happen, because we're seeing a lot of more people be active during the winter when there's less heat and, when people have their jobs off. I'll start knowing when my niece starts getting off into her summer, and see where that goes, because when that happens, I know for sure that I'm going to be seeing a little bit of muglets running around, causing problems. So again, we have this here. So we have this woman here that she decided to go to Africa, right? She thought it was a good idea going to Africa and then, being happy about it. Well, she went to Africa, and it didn't turn out to be as great as she thought it was. It turned out to be actually quite terrible. So we're going to go through this here and kind of see what she has to say.
And but y'all, I'd rather go back to America and deal with the racism in America before I sit here in Africa and deal with the bullshit bribery, the bullshit fraud, the bullshit scams, the bullshit too expensive, the bullshit not having no snacks, the bullshit not having no food, the bullshit electricity, the bullshit hot water, the bullshit what's that shit called that be coming down? Bullshit lizards. The bullshit animals. It's scorpions outside the house. It's big ass spiders. It's big ass lizards. Colorful lizards you ain't never seen before. All in the fucking room with you.
Okay, so let's go with this, right? So she's talking about the spiders and lizards. Be as it may, I won't go to Africa just because of the spiders. Listen, I have a bit of arachnophobia. We all have a little bit of arachnophobia. Let's not kid ourselves here. We are all we know we have a bit of arachnophobia, all right? We have it. So I wouldn't be going to Africa just because of the spiders. There's another reason why I ain't going to Australia. Hello, you Aussies over there that do watch my channel. Yeah, I ain't going to your country. Not because I probably hate it, but mostly because I just don't want to deal with the spiders. All right, because I seen those huntsman spiders, guys. Come on, I ain't playing with that. All right, you say it's harmless. See, you say it's harmless. That's not harmless to me. All right, that thing is a deadly creature to me. It is a lifeblood of death and destruction, and I just do not want to have to deal with it. Lizards are okay. We could do the cool lizards. So the different lizards are okay. Maybe they might be poisonous. That might be a problem, but we cool with lizards. But the point I'm making here is that this woman is talking about the basic necessities that first world countries don't usually have a problem getting access to, such as water, food, AC, you name it, right? Like all these things that first world countries have an easy access to. Lady, what were you expecting when you're going to a third world country? Like, what were you expecting? Were you expecting a luxury place? Like, you're in a third world country. You cannot be expecting to have everything accommodated for you. They're a third world country for a reason. I mean, it's Africa. So obviously you can't be expect to have everything here. And again, I should have done my due credence, right? I should have just given a bit more examples of Africa here. I probably could actually look this up on Twitter or X or what have you and kind of show it. But Africa has at least South Africa. I don't know about all of Africa, but I do know South Africa at least has a huge problem with electricity. Because it can go out for a day, okay, for a few hours to multiple days. Like, it's a problem here. And this is something that people need to understand, is that Africa is not this great place. It's a hell mine. I mean, it's only been maybe about a decade, possibly a little bit less, until we found out that Africa was the grape country of the world, right? They were not good. So obviously, it might be Sweden now. I could be wrong, but it wasn't good. So to expect this place to change anytime soon is insanity to me. And then you're talking about the racism there. Well, or the racism in here in America. Well, here's the thing. The racism in America is almost non-existent. It exists here. I'm not saying it doesn't. It exists, but the racism there is insane, on particularly to the white people in Africa, than it is here in the States. Because now, when you talk about in the States here, the States does not do the type of things that Africa does to the white people when it comes to actual racism. We're not taking away black people's farms. We're not going out and offing off black people. We're not doing these things here in the States. It's just not happening. But in Africa, it's the inverse. It is. Well, it's happening to black people too, and the crime is really bad there. But it's happening to white people. So again, I don't know what she was expecting when going to Africa. When you go to these third world countries, you have to expect the worst. Not just that too. I don't know how you can expect to have an attachment to a place that you have never been to, and you are so far removed from the place. How can you have attachment to it? I know I don't have any attachment to Africa, and I have no desire to go to Africa. Besides the spiders is a different story. But again, I have no desire to go because I have no attachment there. This is home. America is home. The U.S. is home. So that is it. Now I may visit out of place here and there, but of course, this is home.
Sleeping with you, all the bullshit people trying to scam you when you go outside thinking you rich, so they trying to get more money off of you. I'm really trying to wrap my head around this shit. I'm really trying to wrap my head around how are Americans coming to Africa and being happy. Please comment down below, because for me, I'm ready to go. And I always used to say, if it's up to me, it will be. And I'm going to go out to Africa and make shit happen. No, I don't want to. I want to take my businesses back to America. I want to open up shop back in America, open up my dentist office, and all the stuff that I was going to do out here in America. Steady electricity. And the only time our electricity get cut off is when we don't pay the bill. And we got it so good now, we got prepaid electricity. So if we forget to pay the bill, we put some money on that prepaid thing and it comes right back on in 2 minutes. In less than 2 minutes. This shit right here didn't come on for 14 hours yesterday. I can't deal. I love the people. Don't get me wrong, when I'm outside, I'm having fun. I love people. But when I come back to reality, when you come back home, home is where the heart is, right? When you come back home, you're supposed to feel comfortable, you're supposed to be happy. I'm not happy. To live in a house where you look outside and all you see is turkeys and ducks and chickens and sheeps and old malnourished cows.
Okay, so we're gonna go over this, right? Now, the last bit she's talking about malnourished cows, chickens, and stuff like that, or what have you. Well, welcome to a first world country. There you go. Some third world countries are better than others, obviously, but third world country. Two, when you're talking about cows and stuff like that, let me put a $1.50 here. All right, let me put up $1.50. That's what we call rural America, right? Like when you're in a rural area, there's a lot of farms, and then you'll have some dairies, you'll have some places to where you might see ducks, you might just see cows or whatever. Have you ever been next to a dairy and it kind of smells, right? Like it doesn't smell great because there's manure and stuff like that. I lived on a farm for 15 years, so I kind of understand the smell of manure and other animals and wildlife and stuff like that that's been going on over there. You know, you go rural, you get some good trees. But the one thing beautiful about rural areas is that it's peace of mind, because when you're in a city, you're surrounded by people that you most likely hate. It's loud, it's noisy. The air is not as breathable because it's more toxic because of all the cars going everywhere. Everybody's cluttered in just one specific spot. It doesn't feel good when you're in a city. But when you're in a rural area, there's peace, there's quiet, and it's like you're by yourself. Now, I haven't been in a rural area in quite a while, all right? So it's been a while. I moved into the city. It's terrible. I can't wait to move out. But the point being is that when you move out of these places, it's just better. And the point being is that when we have this insanity here where you think that your life is privileged. Again, if we're going to go look at Africa, all right? Let's go look at Africa. Because obviously, Africa, South Africa, let's go look at this, right? I'm pretty sure we type in South Africa, and stuff like that. This is South Africa, right? And this is before, and this is before, and this is before, and this is now, right? So look, it's actually nice. Oh, why is it a hellhole? Oh dear. Oh, what's going on? Oh dear. Oh, that ain't good. What's happening? So again, South Africa 24 versus now. Progress. Yeah, it's not like it says. We have this here. The acting president of South Africa encourages black people to go to the privately owned Oriana and illegally occupy land. They don't want land. They want war. And then it says Canadian boomers were born into a white homogeneous society with the highest standard of living in the world and are living their graduation with frozen Africa. So again, these are not places here. I took this photo in South Africa. When a state puts up signs rather than deal with crime, they are warning about they are a failed state. Crime alert. Do not stop for the next 5 kilometers. That's bad. That's really bad. So again, this is not something that this is not something that is good, right? And let's go here, right, guys? Let's go to the YouTube channel that we do, because there's something that you guys should probably see. Let's do Serpentins, because we all know what's going on here, and this is a great guy that talks about Africa. So we're going to do Africa here. It says the truth about white South African refugees.
Race-targeted violent.
So.
Now this is going to be an interesting video to talk about, because I did my first of welcome walks of life to work. Generate this. The Afrikaans ethnic minority in South Africa. Well, we're going to talk about this heavy topic, but first, a data broker wrap. Deep within the corporate targeted for crime. My family was targeted for crime. We had home invasions. My mother was molested while these guys broke into, tried to kidnap her, and they put her in the trunk of a car and all this other stuff. I've made videos about.
He has made videos about this. I have watched this before. It is not something great at all. Now, this is a more recent video, right? But I kind of want to show you of what's been going on in South Africa and what have you. So if we go back here to this. This guy has lived in South Africa for a half or the majority of his life, right?
And most importantly,
and he knows on what's going on in South Africa. He knows the dangerous stuff that's been going on in South Africa and all that. So it's not really too surprising here, right? That where we're at with South Africa in particular.
The security gate between the living room and your bedroom.
Now, I don't know about Africa in general, but in South Africa, it is very, very common for people to have gates outside their home. Why is it common for people to have gates outside their home? Because crime is so rampant there that they'll just go into your house and steal everything. So you got to have gates inside your home to prevent crime.
I'm talking about the problem of race.
We think anything stop. But we are starting with this whiteness. We are cutting the throat of whiteness. It cannot.
Shoot to kill. Hamaza. Kill the poor. The farmer. Kill the poor. The farmer. Brr, pa. Pa. Brr, pa. Pa.
Now this is going to be an interesting.
So, what do we do that here, right? What was that? We don't have things like this happening in America, right? We don't have it to where we have huge gatherings of people going around and saying, go and unalive black people. Or in this case, the black farmer. We don't have this here. But in Africa, it does. So you want to say that it's so bad here, but yet we have it to where we have African people literally advertising and wanting and doing massive groups, by the way, of saying, kill white people, unalive them. And it's insane. It's really insane. And we go here too. Let's just look at this here.
Lions outside my window. Gun battles. Disease. Friends being murdered. Home invasions. Growing up in South Africa was an exercise in survival. There's a reason I'll never go back to South Africa, and very much like that ancient curse, may you live in interesting times stuff, there have been some ridiculous... You're safe, you can take photos of the lions and stuff. There have been some ridiculous incidents in the past where tourists have gotten out to take pictures with the lions and been eaten and stuff. That actually happened. But in general, people that stay inside their cars are fine. Now, this is very close to me, and I used to ride my dirt bike out there and actually drive right up to the fences and watch them feed the lions and things like that. It was kind of cool. But lions, they escape sometimes. And they did escape. And they actually walked all the way down to the river. And my property, the place where we lived, was on a river. And they walked into our property.
This is what I have with lions. Now, I want to show one more thing before I move on, right? And the final thing that I want to show you to is this here. This is South Africa.
White man! You must die! Futzak, white man! Futzak! White man! The bitches! They must die! Like bitches!
Yeah, I'm not going to monetize this video. The things I'm going to talk about might upset some people, fair warning, but there's no way YouTube's going to allow me to monetize this just because of the things I'm going to discuss. So, you know, you got to be careful. You could get chopped up with a machete. You could be hijacked. This is very popular. There's a bottleneck. You know, when you come home to these little prisons that you have to wait outside the gate while it opens, and that's why you never stop right in front of your gate. You always open your gate as you're coming down the road so that you can quickly enter and then close it behind you. Nothing's safe in South Africa, not even the plants. She was murdered in South Africa. She was white. And you know what? Her family moved there because her father had to do work. So
you guys are understanding here, right? South Africa is not great. South Africa is bad. And we go here. I'm pretty sure, I'm not going to look too hard for this because it's crazy. But it says, what we have here from Jack Posobiec, it says, Urban Square, Cape Town, South Africa goes dark as the country's energy grid collapses. Ramaphosa has declared a state of disaster over the electricity shortages. It says, the body of a man who fell to his death when... We're not going to actually see this whole thing here. So, we have this here. South Africa is collapsing by the day. Instead of building, we chose to strip infrastructure like a swarm of locusts. That's what they're doing here. It says civil unrest has always been a feature in South Africa, though with a collapsing water and electrical grid, we will only see more of this. And eventually, it will lead to mass shooting, rinse, and repeat. Now, you're saying, well, JMReports, you're just talking about, you know, Africa in general. You're not just talking about South Africa. What about all the other African countries? Well, if we go and look this here, if we do this, South Africa, most richest African place. I'll try that. So it says South Africa is generally considered the wealthiest city in Africa. In general, it has home to numerous millionaires, including billionaires, and has a large GDP, etc. So again, we're talking about South Africa here. South Africa has the most money. So if this is happening in South Africa, then what are we doing here with the rest of Africa, where it's not the richest part in Africa, where other places are not the richest part, where other things are not terrible, right? So again, I don't know what else to tell people. I mean, it does look a very pretty city. It doesn't look terrible. It looks pretty bloody modern. It doesn't look bad. But again, this is like maybe one place in an area where it's okay. where it might be okay, but the rest of South Africa is terrible, and it's what it is. So again, we cannot be going off of with what going to South Africa like it's a good thing here, right? Because obviously South Africa is not good. All of Africa is not good. Third world countries are usually pretty bad to go to. Obviously, every country has a better place to be in. I may believe Cape Town is an okay place to be, but even still, we've learned that Cape Town is not even that safe either. It's why I risk on the fact of, oh, well, this is ongoing, right? And or what have you, and they're just talking about this. So obviously, this is the issue. So we're gonna stop talking about this, and we're gonna go on to here with Brianna Morello saying, "Give Ghost and Go." Co-founder Jacob Wells says he wouldn't say I'm proud when it comes to Carmelo Anthony raising over $500,000 on his platform. Anthony told police that he did it, meaning the murder of Austin Metcalf. The teen is now making a weak self-defense. I have no pride. He goes on to say, I have no pride in having this being on set Give and Go. I just have appreciation for what Give and Go is doing in the midst of these tragic moments, which is standing on principle, which is loving people even in the midst of very hard and dark places. So this is what this guy has to say here.
Donating for the wrong reasons. I mean, on any campaign, there are people that believe that the best way forward is racial division. That's what they believe. And so they're going to stoke the flames of racial division however they can. And people do that all the time. That's just the prerogative of living or the, let's say, not even say penalty, but when you live in free societies, which we do, there is a price to pay. And that is, it allows for some people to do things that might not be good. And I think people do that all the time. They like the death threats that we have, or just even saying nasty things to people. Like, well, that's your prerogative. I don't think that's a good thing. Like, do you think you're building society by cussing and swearing and being derogatory to people? Like, no, I don't think many people would agree with that, but yet we have freedom to do it. And so there are people that think that's the best way forward. And I don't find any validation in that in the real world as far as making a positive difference. I think it just adds more fuel to the fire. And I think they're happy with that because that's what they want. When someone is championing a racial narrative that is divisive and not unifying, then I would claim that that's a wrong reason to be donating. And there are people that have donated that are making claims that are divisive and not unifying. So,
and I hate to say it, but that's when you should shut it down. Because you keeping it up is a testament of you showing that you're kind of allowing it to happen. Because I'm going to be perfectly honest here, guys. If I had a GoFundMe and, I seen people. Now, it depends, right? It depends on what the majority is, right? So if the majority is to where majority of people are not being racist or divisive, okay, that's fine. But when I have the majority of the people being racist and divisive, then I'm like, there's no point in having this up because I don't support and I don't condone the ability to have this money because of the fact. Like I said, if I did some type of crime, I don't expect you guys to donate and get me out of bail, which I don't think my audience is big enough for me to do that. But even still, I wouldn't expect my audience to do it. I did something bad, and I should be held responsible for those crimes, obviously. So I don't see to where there's an issue with this. But again, we need to send a message to everyone that racism and divisiveness is not okay. And keeping this up is just allowing black people and others to say racism and divisiveness is A-okay, and it's just not.
And those are in some of the comments. Unfortunately, like I said, in free societies, people can say things that are divisive and not unifying. And so there's another piece there. I'm trying to think. And they go both ways too. I mean, we've seen people who have made donations because donating is a way for you to comment on a campaign page, and they are on the other side of the political spectrum of a campaign in a highly politicized campaign. And this one is as well. It's almost, followed a level of political division. But you have people that are on the other side of the aisle, and they'll donate the minimum $5 donation just so they can post a comment being derogatory to the Carmelo family or the Anthony family. So they're intentionally donating just so that they can say a comment to go after and have it be public.
But the point being here is, my guy, is that how often is that happening on the Austin Metcalf situation versus the Carmelo Anthony situation? That's what we have to take in perspective. If you're seeing it where more people are being racist and divisive on one end of the aisle and it's not on the other, that's a sign of something else entirely, right? I mean, I don't see to where this is very difficult to understand. Obviously, you create controversy if one goes down and then the other doesn't go down, but I think it's shown on how toxic and evil these people are. I mean, it's just that simple.
And they sit on the other side.
So we have this here, right, where we have law of self-defense. This guy's a good man. I like how he says this, but he goes on to say that everybody is entitled to due process and a zealous legal defense, and that includes Carmelo Anthony. Jacob Wells facilitating that is not only a crime; it's a social good. Sure, Carmelo almost certainly murdered Austin Metcalf in cold blood. John Adams also defended the British soldiers who committed the Boston Massacre. The process matters. So, yeah, he goes with that. It says, anyone who struggles with this balanced, uncatchable, nuanced, and freedom-based take is a very authoritarian individual. A platform that exists for everyone to front should not take a political side. If we're about respecting the Constitution and free market enterprise, we land in the same position as Jacob Wells and the team at the Ghost and Go have. Very principled. But the point being here is that it's not just because it's just political, right? You could have things that are political and be fine, but when you have things that are political and there is also racial divisiveness, that's a bit different. So that's the problem. And it says, I will never again give through Ghost and Go or GoFundMe or Ghost and Go platform. Great opportunity for another to rise up in the midst of this. This is trash. He could allow an account that was restricted for prayer but not monetary. Talk about toxic empathy. Yeah. Again, it doesn't seem like it's going to go, this is good. But he said his piece on this. And we also have this here from Sarah Field saying, was a picture that was being accused. I think somebody else was going around and saying that this was a picture that, this off to the left here, I may believe, is Carmelo Anthony stomping on a kid's head or what have you, which is not true. She goes on to say, stop sharing the video of the teen stomping on another teen's head while playing basketball and saying that it's Carmelo. The incident is old and occurred in the Bay Area of California. What a shocker. And then you're not helping. Verify things before you share. The photo seen on the right is also not Carmelo. And as someone who has worked very hard to release facts about this case, this irritates the crap out of me. Don't lower yourselves to their level of stupidity, believing that a cleat sharpener was used and that weather should be blamed. Be better. I agree. So, I don't know if this is Carmelo Anthony or not. It doesn't look like it's Carmelo, but this guy here is obviously, it is what you see here. Yeah. So this is not true. This stuff is not true. So don't believe this, fellow humans. We have this here to where Sarah Field says, confirmed. Next Generation Action Network, a Florida organization run by Dominic Alexander, is funded by George Soros affiliated money. Dominic Alexander is currently advocating for the Carmelo Anthony family. He has publicly admitted to assisting with Carmelo's Give and Go campaign and securing legal defense for him. It goes on to say, while Dominic Alexander refuses to release financial reports and has not filed a financial statement for the organization since 2020, Other left-wing organizations have filed IRS from 1990s, which show funding from Next Generation Action Network. Goes on to say, Dominic Alexander's 501c has received money from at least 3 George Soros funding organizations, and the Ties Foundation, BVM, Capacity Building Institute, and Resist Inc. Meanwhile, NGAN has not filed a single report since 2020. Based on a full investigation, NGAN brought in 6 figures as of 2020. However, no financial reports have been lifted since then, which violates federal law. NGAN has filed only 2 IRS reports since its inception in 2014, and according to federal law 501c, organizations are required to file annual returns of their income and expenses with the Internal Revenue Service. So yeah, they're doing money laundering. So I'm not really surprised here. Obviously, you see this here committing the crimes and all this stuff. So that's good here, right? We have this, but we have this here as well. That goes on to this. We have this here from Sarah Fields again saying Dallas, Texas expose of Dominic Alexander's consistent involvement with criminals and corrupt politicians, including John Cruzat and Maxie Johnson. The Dominic Alexander, a felon running a fraudulent organization called Next Generation Action Network, is currently acting as an advocate for Carmelo Anthony. So we all know that stuff. Blah 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 blah. Let's get to the juice. Pertinent information has recently come to light regarding Dominic Alexander's friendship and involvement with Maxie Johnson. Johnson is currently running for City Council District 4 and serves as a trustee for Dallas ISD. Next Generation Action Network has endorsed Maxie Johnson, and Dominic Alexander has been seen in multiple photos with the Johnsons, including in attendance at Maxie's wedding. In a previous exclusive, I revealed Alexander's involvement with District Attorney John Cruzat. Cruzat is the DA responsible for releasing a confessed killer and a Mexican illegal alien who killed a man in Dallas County in 2022 by stabbing him 7 times and setting his corpse on fire. Wow, Jesus. The individual received no prison time despite pleading guilty to manslaughter, of course, because why would criminals for doing such a thing be sentenced to crimes? No, we don't do that here. In December 2019, Dallas ISD trustee Maxie Johnson's daughter, Taylor Johnson, was charged and indicted on capital murder charges. Oh boy. Taylor, along with a man named Levican Grant, held a woman at gunpoint, kidnapped a man, and set his body on fire inside a tarp in Dallas. Oh, that sounds lovely. The case was handled by DA John Cruzat, who arranged a plea deal for Taylor Johnson. Johnson was released on a $600,000 bond with an ankle monitor. While out on bail, Taylor repeatedly violated her bond conditions by continuing to associate with her partner in crime. Like Van Grant, she posted rap videos on social media showing her brandishing firearms and using illegal drugs. Despite these violations, she was never returned to jail. So there's more to this thread as well. So we're going to go over this. So we have this here, Maxie Johnson, what have you. 4 months after the murder of this 22-year-old son, this DSD board member, Maxie Johnson, faces another tragedy as his 19-year-old daughter is charged with capital murder. That's great. Fantastic. And then you have Dominic Alexander saying, please take this down. Of course. So yeah, that here. And then you have this here saying, the media went silent on Taylor Johnson's case with the last article being written in 2020. According to a court documents, Judge Birmingham admonished Taylor in 2023 regarding her bond conditions, including not having contact with co-defendant Levican Grant. He brought up the fact that she had violated her bond by involving herself in violent fights with other females and making social media posts involving firearms and illegal drugs. So this person is just extremely violent, as her father is as well. So, again, this is what's been going on here. This is been going on, and all this stuff, the files. I'm not going to read the full thing here, mostly just due to the fact that this has been a crazy thing. If I had more of a guest here, we would do this. It says, despite all of this, you are prepared to Taylor Johnson's case under DA John Cruzat was granted deferred adjudication with only 5 years of community service for capital murder. So again, order of deferred adjudication. And then we have this here, Birmingham, with his stuff like this. And then we have this again. NG agent has endorsed Maxie Johnson. And in another strange incident, Dominic Alexander, a man who has declaimed to be against violence and crime, didn't tell the media to take down their articles regarding Taylor Johnson, which again, we've seen this here, right? I mean, this is the individual. They look, I mean, at this point, you can kind of look in people's eyes and just see that there's something wrong with them. I see no light in these people's eyes at all. So there's that. They do not look like good people in the slightest. And then we have this here. Maxie Johnson himself has had a run-in with the law in 2022. When he carried on a live broadcast on campus with students without permission, he was accompanied by Dominic Alexander, who has previously been convicted of felony assault against a child. Dominic Alexander was also on the Dallas ISD 2020 Bond Advisory Board. So, yeah, this isn't good. Son of a field Negro. Yeah, this is just all fantastic stuff, man. This is all great. And then we have this here. Sarah, seen here are recent posts made by Taylor Johnson asking people to vote for her father. The second photo is Dominic Alexander in attendance at Maxie Johnson's wedding. Yeah, that was, again, she just does not look good regardless of the situation here. And then also, I'm also going to attach my prior reports and exclusives on Dominic Alexander into this organization and thread. So, yeah, it ain't good. So, obviously, this guy is god awful. He is awful in every way possible. And then we have this here, where we have this. No. Okay, we're a little bit mixed up. But it's okay. So apparently, some guy here thought that Dunkin' Donuts is causing destruction, right? That it's causing crime or what have you. Well, hey, gotta be further from the truth because we have this here from this guy.
Y'all like, come on, man, what is this? It's crazy. Straight bulletproof glass through the whole thing, man. I mean, you can't even breathe on these people. Look how sealed this is. This is a professional seal. Like, you can't even talk to these people barely. Appreciate you, man. Getting up every day and seeing something like this, bro, that do something to your mental up here. It tell you, like, this how you feed animals in a zoo, gang. Like, that's pretty much what it's telling your mentality. Like, I did say I don't trust you. You feel what I'm saying? At what point do we be like, we tired of getting treated like animals, tired of getting treated like this? Like, bro, like, you telling me I can't even hand you my money, gang? Like, bro, like, the people who be owning these don't be from the community. They don't be from the city. They don't. You grow up, imagine you see this every day for your whole life. And then you go to someplace else and you see them handing the money. You gonna think something wrong with you, gang. Like, it's crazy mentality.
Okay, let's put this $1.50 here, right? It says even donut operator says they're in the wrong, huh? Year to date, shot and killed 91, shot and wounded 306, total shot 397, total homicides 104. This is from Chicago Crime. This is an ongoing thing here. It is not. It's like this is what happens when you have people. When there's so much crime that you have to have bulletproof glass. Maybe you people should stop robbing shit. Is it that hard? What are you talking about here? Yes, Dunkin' Donuts does not want their employees to be unlived because crime is crazy. Again, this is not just Dunkin' Donuts. This is in Detroit as well.
Homeboy.
When they get bulletproof glass in this McDonald's? I don't know. Yeah, that's what here with vests. I know. You just said it right there, sweetheart. I need a vest. She's like, hey, my car door don't.
It's like black people are like shocked, like, what? They're bulletproof glass. Are we not gonna show the elephant in the room, or are we just not gonna say this? There is so much crime in black cities that they had to put a bulletproof glass so people don't get killed. Okay? So it's like, again, this is just something here that black people are just so ignorant, so dumb that they just don't understand. It's like, we're being treated like animals. Well, stop acting like animals. Like, what else do I want to tell you? What else? Like, look at Oakland. Go look how terrible that place is. Look at Chicago. I mean, it has a name called Chirac. We all know on how bad Baltimore is. Like, one of the most notorious cities in America that are for crime. Like, when you think of Baltimore, you think of St. Louis, you think of Baltimore, and the biggest one obviously comes with Chicago. And then you had Oakland. And how many black people are in these places? It's majority. So it's not like it's like everybody else's fault that this is going on. They're connecting the dots. They're seeing a pattern here. And like, okay, this is an issue. This would be the same thing happening in a white place too, by the way. If there is a whole bunch of crime that is going on and it's full of white people, I would not be surprised that they put up bulletproof glass and stuff like that to prevent employees being unalived. And I could not imagine, by the way, being an employee and I had to go behind a bulletproof glass to work because it's so dangerous there that people are going to get shot. What are we doing? We need to fix ourselves. We need to fix everything here because this is insane. And by the way, guys, this was 8 years ago. This is 8 years ago. What are we doing? So, miss me with that BS. So we have a little bit of update with some news here. It says the Trump administration has confirmed they reached a settlement with the family of Ashley Babbitt, the unarmed woman who was shot and killed on January 6th. President Trump vowed to look into this matter, and he kept his word. This is step one of justice for Babbitt. Her killer, Michael Barr, must be held accountable. So, this is a good thing here. This woman was mercilessly killed for no actual legitimate reason. You didn't need to use a gun, first off. She didn't have no weapon. You could have quite easily just used a taser and stopped this matter. But you didn't. You decided to use a gun, and she was killed for no reason. So, yeah, that's a problem here. And then we have this here. I'm not going to actually play this video because it does have the N word R with the ER. And, but I will read this to you because, A woman calls a kid the N-word with a hard R and accuses him of taking her son's stuff. Did you call the child the N-word? Yeah, what if he acts like one? He took my son's stuff. So that gives you the right to call the child the N-word. If that's what he's going to act, that's what he's going to act. I mean, she's not wrong. Okay, let's put it at $1.50 here, guys. Come on. Just because a kid steals stuff does not mean he is absolved from being called a racial slur. Right? Like, what are we doing? I mean, why is the kid stealing things in the first place? What's going on? Now, I'm not saying that you should go to every single kid and start saying the hard ER, all right? Let's not go be doing that, all right? But, come on. what's going on here? It's quite insane because what are we doing? It's like people are getting fed up. People are getting so tired of this. And this is what I mean by there's racism coming back, and it's coming back stronger because the way black people are doing things. You guys want to keep up this racial division? Well, here you go. Here's the racial division. And the problem that I have is that I don't want to be segregated again, by the way. I don't want to see segregation back in my lifetime. Black people hold very little power when it comes to stuff like this because guess what? The majority of people are white. So I don't know what we're doing here exactly. When you black people act like this, it's stupid. Show with your actual credence here. It's like, by the way, it's just a word. She says a word, just go off and say it. It's crazy. It says, it's like, yeah, the white woman has finally had enough. She did nothing wrong. Maybe those older children shouldn't bother her baby's belongings. One of the greatest scams ever perpetrated was convincing one race of people they couldn't say a word that another race uses freely as a term of endearment. Agree. Well, to be fair, it's NIGGA, which is more. It's more there. But yeah, I kind of understand. You always black people are allowed to say the word, but other white people aren't, which is just bloody stupid. I certainly wouldn't have used the N-word, but she had every right to call out that kid for stealing her son's stuff. So when the fatigue levels are incalculable, expect more of this. So this is who she was talking to. So apparently it's Mohammed Hassan Omar and it's Shamarko Bail Omar, the two roster men who will appear in court May 5th on joint charges of third and fifth degree criminal sexual conduct after being accused of raping a 16-year-old offering her a place to stay. Mohammed Hassan Omar, 42, and Shamak Bail, 30, may have received a joint trial for their identical charges of third-degree criminal sexual conduct, penetration of a person under 18 years old, uses coercion, and fifth-degree criminal sexual conduct. Non-consensual penetration dating back to January 2022, according to Obese County. I mean, guys, what are we doing here? Well, like, come on. As I said, racism begins for. I don't even know if we want to say it would be called racism, right? Because when you have people seeing a pattern, people want to be segregated from each other or moved away from each other. Like I said, I don't blame for white people not want to be around white people to be around black people in some instances because of this shit happening. And then when you say the N-word, it's like, well, that's what you're being. I say the N-word, the hard ER, applies for everyone. It applies to white people. It applies to black people. It applies to Mexicanos. It applies to all these people. Well, Mexicans. I probably won't say Mexicanos here, but to Mexicans here, what have you. It applies to all these people, right? And the reason why it applies to them is because if you're being a degenerate, if you're acting stupid, dumb, or etc., stealing, whatever, yeah, you could probably get the hard ER treatment. And I think I would use the word hard ER for universal, not just for black people, all right? Because that's just the truth. Okay, but like I said, don't just go around calling black people the hard ER, all right? We're not going to condone this. This is stupid. But I can understand why she did this, all right? I can understand. I personally wouldn't have used it. But, you know, BSMA. So we're going to get the final part of this video, the happy go time, good happy stuff. So we have this here. Polygon sold to Valnet and hit with mass layoffs. It says the video game website Polygon has been sold to Click Farm Powerhouse Valnet, and much of its mass head has been laid off, Kentucky has learned. The sale was subsequently announced in a press release. Multiple staff members have posted online about losing their jobs or about colleagues now being out of work. It says, I am no longer with Polygon if you're hiring, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, it's hilarious. So again, again, gaming journalism is dying. It is pretty much dead. And nobody wants to deal with these people because they're all god awful. They're all miserable. They're all terrible. I can't stand these gaming journalists. I'm a big gamer. I play games. I enjoy them. I also enjoy cooking, which, no, we're not going to do a cooking stream, all right? Maybe if you guys want me to. But I'm not going to do a cooking stream. But again, that being said, I hate gaming journalism in general. I can't stand these people. I think they're awful. I don't think they should be warranted to anything at all. And it's just terrible. So again, we have some bad stuff here with this, but it's good. And of course, we have this here. God, my eyes. Oh, it's so bad. So Polygon has been sold to Valiant, which the majority of being laid off. These are some of the people that are saying here. Says Chris Plante, I'm no longer with Polygon. If you're hiring, please consider the many talented writers and editors now on the market. Every one of them deserves a spot on your staff. I won't be taking more about the sale because I wasn't involved. Going out with my kid, taking wins where I can. No! Please don't come back. Please, no, do not hire these people again. Keep them out of here, please. I do not want them. Says, I had a great time working at Polygon. Please let me know if you have any cool job openings. Don't hire these people. I'll say more later, but I no longer have a job. I have a job. I'm looking for work. As so many of my amazing colleagues, I have lots of ideas and things I'd like to write. I'm really in shock. You don't have any amazing ideas to write, all right? You have absolutely nothing. The reason why you have absolutely nothing to write is because all you guys write is political and far left statements and has nothing good of substantial of anything at all. If you had amazing things to write, if your content was good, if your stuff that you had was good, you wouldn't be out of a job right now and Polygon wouldn't be going under. Polygon is going under because you weren't making money. You weren't making the company money. So therefore, the company had to be sold off because you can't make money. That's your fault. You were terrible at your jobs, and nobody watched you or believed you. You didn't get the clicks. So again, it says, I was just thinking, again, with the she-her thing. This is all from Blue Sky, by the way. How escapable place. I was just thinking earlier this week, man, I love my job, and I'm so excited to jump into summer blockbuster season, and now I don't have my job. So, bye-bye. See you later. Don't hit your ass on the way out. Says, I am among many folks who got laid off today. Don't have anything good or thoughtful to say on it at the moment. Gutted, sad, feel completely effed. F Fox Media Management forever. They did this shit on my day. Fox Media Union forever. What's your day? What are you talking about on your day? What is my day? Go away. So, like, seriously, you people are terrible. Like, you're all self-centered. You're all narcissists. And you don't actually solve any problems whatsoever. It's like, the reason why the company is dead. It's like, what do you want? It's like, F Fox Media? What do you mean, F Fox Media? It's like, you're so entitled here that you expect a company to keep you when you're not making them money and they literally just can't support it. What is this? Like, put it this way. This is the way this person's acting, right? This person is saying, my company is not making any money. So now I am mad that I'm being laid off because my company can't afford to keep me. If anything, that should probably be a compliment because that means they can't afford to pay you because they don't have enough money to pay you. So you should go find somewhere else. Unless you know that you're not going to get any job anywhere else and you'll be working at a McDonald's district because, or a McDonald's place because your skills are severely lacking. We have this here from P. Volk saying, along with just about everyone else at Polygon, I am now out of a job, ending over a decade at Vox Media for me. Working at Polygon was a wonderful experience, and I'm proud of the work we did there. I will be looking for work as well as starting my own projects on the side. Stay tuned. So yeah, again, this is all crazy here. We'll have this stuff reading. Uh, Former Polygon editor-in-chief Chris Plante took social media to confirm that he is no longer working with the outlet, which was founded in 2012. And then we have former Polygon writer Michael McWhirter also took to social media to confirm that he had been affected. Part-time writer Ian Walker also confirmed that he's no longer working for the brand. So yeah, these people are cooked. They're gone. They're away. Polygon is no more. Thank God, because these people are bloody miserable, and I wouldn't want to deal with them. So yeah, it's all great and dandy. So that's it for that guys. All this good stuff here. I'll probably be doing more streams in the future. But like I said, I need to actually have viewerships because I do this at a particular time of the day, and these streams like this one goes for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I need time to take out of my day. And if I'm not getting viewers or getting enough people, I can't keep doing this type of stuff, all right? Because I got to do other stuff throughout my day. But I will try to keep doing this on. I'll probably do this for a couple months, and I'll see where this goes. Hopefully, I have some growth within that time span. I will be posting as I do usually on when this is going on. I did say I was going to do this Thursday, but the only reason why I didn't do it Thursday is just because I couldn't even post videos on Thursday, all right? I couldn't even do anything like that because I knew I had something that was going on Thursday, then something else happened, and then I couldn't actually post any videos on Thursday. So now I have to do this, so what have you. I will be doing some other things here. I may actually do time cards or what have you to make the thing better. But yeah, it's crazy. But we'll see how this goes. Hope I get more people to subscribe or giving donations or what have you. I would like to keep doing this job full time. And like I said, I'm unlimited. I'm limited here. It's like I said, I finally reached my goal to where I can, make some kind of money or whatever. But if I can't make a money within, I don't know, sometime next year, it's going to be pretty doomed, right? At least for me, because I got to get moving on, and I just stop doing this and focus and do something harder. And if I don't make anything from this, it's over. So I'm not trying to guilt trip you people because that's not what I'm saying. I should earn money for what I have. I'm just saying here in reality, this is just kind of what it is. It's like I got to make money. I got to do something. I have made progress. I'm glad of my progress, but some things have to give it. Something has to give at some point. All right. So that is what it is. Hopefully y'all will support. If not, that's okay. But yeah. So we'll be doing more of this later on. Maybe not next week, probably the week after. I'm going to be working on more emotes and stuff like that. So yeah. We'll see where this goes. All right, guys. That's it for the stream. Like, subscribe.